telling us late in that second term that Mellington was the man subbed out.
And they're all good to go now as this third quarter gets underway. Hill trying to break against Jack, but Jack beat him to it. And so Sydney inserted first over the head of O'Keefe. A tester for Reid straight away. No doubt McFarlane will be looking to crash him into the turf.
And I think the key defenders have got to lift too. McFarlane's got to lift. He's a senior player. He's playing on a young fella. We know Reid's experience, but McFarlane's a highly rated defender, Jason. He's had his colours lowered significantly in the first half.
Yep.
Fife for fit of the fumbles at the wrong time there, so Dawson had to get involved. And Rowan was able to sneak in and beat them to the punch. O'Keefe got manhandled. Hill, you can see it's very tight in there and hard to clear a space. I think Mzungu just decided that the boundary line was the best option.
Whereas it's interesting they've released Adam McPhee from Adam Goods. I would have thought that Goods with 12 possessions and no score wasn't a bad return from Adam Goods, and yet they've sent him to Ryan O'Keefe, who only had one touch in the first half.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that, but McPhee, maybe they just want to shore up their defence, but McPhee hasn't gone to any of the keys. He's gone to Ryan O'Keefe, who did struggle in the first half anyway. O'Keefe's coming a bit underdone, but I agree with you. I don't think Adam Goods had 12 possessions, was playing well, but he certainly wasn't a dominant player.
Margin remains 40 then. Zach Dawson's just slipped off the back of the contest here, so Freo just have one spare one, but Sandland's going to thump it forward. Sydney have got their spare one back, a kick away from the contest, so both sides playing extra man behind. McVeigh spears it in, jumping high, was brought, and his follow-up work was excellent too. Johnson, Bradley. Grundy took a bit of a chance and he almost affected the intercept. Now Hill can use his natural attributes, his pace. Got it to Bourne with a couple of bounces. Jack hunting and hounding him down. And in the end, the kick was a little hurried and a little far, but at least they can set up here with the ball out of bounds in their forward field.
I like what they've done with Hill. I mean, they've shown some faith in him. He's in the centre bounce in the first bounce. They've put some faith in him. I think he's had 2 quick possessions, a handball and a kick now. So he starts to work his way into the game.
Sandilands getting a good push and shove from Seaby. Just trying to combat him in any possible way. Is the ball going to come out? It did with a hurried kick from Fife across the face of goal.
Just nothing easy, is there, about the Dockers at the moment?
At the moment, it's Kepler-Bradley that has gone to Adam Goods, which seems an unusual matchup, Rizzy.
Yeah, look, he's rucked a bit, hasn't he? So he's mobile, but I wouldn't put him in the Adam Goods stakes in terms of mobility.
Richards, here's McPhee. And it's over and out.
I mentioned this earlier. They've just got to get in a better position, both ruckman and both on balls for these throw-ins. They're just not coming in deep enough.
And this time the wrestle's on again, and Sandland's able to farm it down. Nice little give from Fife, but again, it's tough to find space to do anything meaningful with it. Mzungu trying to get it. They're trying to force it out the back till they find someone in the clear. Big Sandland's forced to do things he really didn't want to do. Mzungu.
See, the pressure from Sydney has been really good. That was illustrated with that last stoppage. Even though the Dockers got their hand on the ball 4 or 5 times, there was no clean possession. Every time they grabbed it, they were gobbled up by 1 or 2 Swans tacklers.
And this is not going to worry Sydney at all, is it? If it just remains like this for a while, make the task even more difficult. So Sandlands has one weapon where they can get the ball into the clear, perhaps. Hill, Bird equal with the desperation stakes, and Kennedy and Bolton out into the wing. Ibbotson, he's got McPhee behind him. He gave it straight to Goods. Johnson, and it's all about territory, and that's about it at the moment.
I think that's about the 3rd time in this quarter that Sandlands has tried to hit it outside, and every time the Swans players are reading it a lot better than what the Dockers players are.
Well, Bradley's gone back forward, and Ryan Crowley has come on, and looks like he's going to follow Adam Goods now.
So let's see what Sandlands tries this time. No apparent Freo players in the clear, and as it turned out, CB beat him to it. Sandland's forced a handball here. Mzungu along the line. So it's just inch by inch stuff as far as Freo are concerned, trying to manufacture a goal perhaps and get some confidence and spark back.
Yeah, that's what it is. They just need to manufacture a goal, Hutto. You're right. Out of anything at the moment, because nothing seems to be working.
Sandland slaps it back into a more dangerous position, and it's Ibbotson who has the responsibility, but he can't take it on.
They're the ones you can't afford to miss when you're 40 points down.
No.
Nathan Fyfe just came off the interchange bench. He's back on the ground, and as he runs on, so does Craig Bird and goes to him. Although you'd have to say, even though the problem with Fyfe's game, he's had 17 possessions, second most on the ground, but it's his kicking efficiency of just 30% that's let him down.
Yeah, look, you can't fault his work rate. It's just a terrific young fella. Works really, really hard, and nothing's come easy for any Dockers players, but at least he's getting the football. At least he's working very hard.
Aaron Sandlin's up to 26 hit-outs now. I'm not sure you might call that a throw rather than a hit-out, I think. Yes. Tackling by Josh Kennedy. We'll find from what the umpire was saying then that it's Kennedy's ball.
Well, he's the #1 man on the ground possession-wise with 18. This will be number 90, although he's only kicked at 36%. So it's a few of them with their kicking efficiency way down.
A bit of a standoff there at the back. McFarlane. Fyfe covering plenty of territory. Broughton fashioned the kick. Here's Barlow. The sub last week and the sub again this week. Had 13 on the ground in his time on the ground last week. And he's into the mix straight away. De Boer. Zach Dawson seems to be in the forward line at the moment.
Well, he's taking the initiative and running into an attacking spot. I think he's still playing down back, but pushing forward perhaps when he gets the opportunity.
Main. Clark again, no meaningful meat onto the kick.
Well, look, he may be stationed down there for a while, Hutto. It's an unusual role for Zach Dawson. We don't see him go forward too often.
Yeah, it looks like Johnson's picked him up, so maybe he has gone forward.
He'd been in the centre square just loitering for a while.
And again, Sandlin's going for the attacking tap, but once more the Swans were reading the play. Barlow accumulating already. Richards has got this covered. Nikolai says to Zach, get out. You see him just in the bottom of the picture. He's on that fine line of the protected area, forcing Richards to kick back to the maze. Reed's free.
Yeah, they just seem to have all the answers at the moment. The momentum's going a bit Freo's way, but they just cannot score. Clark needed to do a better job on Richards there just to get the ball to the ground at the worst in that last forward 50 entry.
Sandlin's got a hand onto it, but O'Keefe was there to snaffle it up. His kick, they'll need a nice bounce here if Sydney are going to get back into it, because it's all the space and favours for Mzungu. He goes to Bradley, but Matner was just at him and at him and at him. Well done, Kepler, though. His feathers weren't ruffled too much. Subin draws the free for the high contact and quickly moves it a little dangerously, but I was going to say they have to live on the edge. Not like that, though. Parker to Jetta, and I'll tell you what, this game has almost been burnt. And Freo, crucial mistakes.
I'd love to know what was going through the head of Michael Johnson then, whether he just took it to it. You can see Ross Lyon cannot believe what's going on. He's thinking, well, look, we've squared it up. You called it well, Hutto. It was a risk, but it was a good risk to take because they had numbers out that side. So he gets the high tackle from Adam Goods, then he squares it up. Nick Subin, it's a good kick. Straight to Michael Johnson.
What's the lack of chase from Johnson, though, here? Watch this.
I think that officially registers as a gift.
Yeah. It's just a horror day for Fremantle, isn't it?
It's a big downer for them after being so good against the reigning Premier last week.
Sandlins has to cross over the line to win the tap, but he did. But Bird, it might squirt out for De Boer, who was fully committed to the contest. Pavlich, they need some clean handling, and again it lets them down. It was Hill that time with the fumbles. Bradley.
Oh, it's a throw. The other thing we spoke about
a new way to get into the ball now, Jace. They've stopped handballing it and they're starting to throw it now.
Whereas we said before the game, will the hardened preparation of Freo be an advantage? But it's almost, they played their last NAB challenge against the Hawks in a tough one over at Patterson Stadium. Then they faced off against Geelong. That was a tough game for them. They haven't been able to produce it again here. And the Swans, who have been fresh and really had virtually a fortnight off, look like they've got more run, and they look harder.
Yeah, they look a lot harder. That'll be the disappointing thing for Ross Lyon. The Dockers just aren't hard enough at all around the contest.
Fyfe went flashing through. And it's going to be a ball up. Sydney have won 6 more contests, 6 more contested possessions, and yet they've had 13 more tackles. So even though they're first to the ball, they're still laying more tackles, which underlines your point.
Serious imbalance in the inside 50s now too. 40 to 26. That's a belting.
Sandilands down to Hill.
Look at the pressure.
Ibbotson couldn't get it clean, and again it was a handball that didn't quite find its target. Barlow probably did enough to earn a free there for in the back.
That was classic, that last stoppage there, because what Freo are just leaving the contest far too early. They're just going before a teammate's really won and secured the ball, and all of a sudden you see 2 or 3 Swans guys following the ball carrier. Their spread from stoppages is a lot better than what the Dockers is at the moment.
And again, the volley came out from a bird, tucked under his legs. The ball pounced on it, and Fife went for a torpedo, which wasn't a bad effort because they were 3-2 against down there. So he's tried to put it into a neutral position, and Bradley was able to win it to Clark. He looked around to see if he had any mates about. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he meant that kick because it's turned out to his advantage. And Clancy Pearce will have the shot for the absolute desperate shot at goal.
Yeah, that's all down to Kepler Bradley. He kept it alive. He looked to be out of position. Heath Grundy in the end, I think, conceded because he had numbers around him. He thought, oh, well, I'll tackle him and we'll take it away. But he shot out a hand pass, and the centre ball was tracked a lot better by Clancy Pearce than it was
Jared McVeigh,
yes.
So it's Clancy Pearce to have the shot for goal. A big pre-season, come back a lot leaner. He needs to capitalise on the opportunities, and that's one that he just had to make the most of, and he has. Finally, a Fremantle goal.
Yeah, we talked about manufacturing a goal, and that's probably what it was there. Nothing clean about it, but really good effort from Bradley here. Just a nice body work, really nice hands. Zach Clark probably just a bit more. I think he saw him out of the corner of the eye, but I'm not sure he wanted to kick it that high. But once again, Pearce, eyes on the footy. McVeigh just got turned around then. Swirly breeze. And nice mark and a nice finish from Clancy.
Been a long time in coming. 5 minutes into the second quarter was their last goal. It's now just ticked over to 12 minutes gone in the third. So the margin is back to 39 points. Sandlin's down to Pavlich, who's in the middle. They have looked better since Barlow's been on. He's been able to win the footy. And Bradley's working overtime, but there's nothing back for them there.
Yeah, he's working hard, Bradley.
He keeps things alive. He makes things happen, doesn't he? He's an awkward player to deal with.
So Marty Mattner's off. There's Roberts Thompson against McPhee, and Roberts Thompson paid himself the mark. The umpire didn't. It's the umpire that counts. Barlow again involved in the link. McFarlane, but they're getting ever further back. Eventually the nifty little kick goes across from Subin to Broughton.
What you notice about Barlow, Hutto, he is clean. You know, he doesn't fumble, and he actually doesn't turn the ball over just like we saw there.
The slap was close to a throw from Goods. The umpire says it's A-OK. McGlynn summed it up. Good effort.
Yeah, Joey Kennedy there at the top of the square too, Benny McGlynn. And we just maybe pick it up here. Yeah, I think it was a closed fist there.
It looked a throw, but he did it with the fist, so it was a good hit.
Well, 1 or 2 more will just about finish Fremantle off, so they're hanging by a thread at the moment. Subin, what was Clark thinking there?
What was that? Zach Clark, was it? Looked like he was competing in the under-18 high jump championship.
He was thinking the best mark he's ever taken in his life.
He'd probably go all right in that, I would have thought. Yeah. Whereas he probably not the under-18 because he's a bit old, but other than that, here's McFarlane. Have to try and take the mark. Bird surrounded by Fremantle players. Subin found a way to get it to Fife. And then to McPhee, who just eases the ball up in the Bradley direction. He's hopelessly outnumbered though, 4-1. Then Marty Mattner's off for another dash. And Sydney are going forward to Rowan. Just going around the boundary line, and it won't worry them at all if the ball ends up out of bounds.
Yeah, no, you're right. Every time they've come off half back, they just haven't executed, a chain of handballs. They've kicked it long to a 1-on-2, 2-on-3, 2-on-4 at the Dockers.
Barlow again to Pearce, to Pavlich. Pearce had to go and make good. Mazunga, they've got the release handball this time. Fife again. There it is. Same thing again.
Yeah.
I'm sure that happened time and time against GWS.
Yeah.
As you touched on earlier, Uzi. It's happening again. Good credit to the systems and the execution of the Swans. Johnson and Grundy and Richards are having another field day back there in defence. Roberts Thompson just shoved off the ball by Hill, so that's a good result. Now Mzungu on the brink here. Bradley calling for it in the square. Mzungu decides though to go short. Maybe he wished he'd gone long.
And he had Subin inside, who is a good ball user. He should have turned around the corridor and hit that little slick 5-metre handball. And Subin could have had a shot of goal. Sandler's on the bench there.
Getting a little frustrated, Chris Mayne. He hasn't had much of the footy, and then a little lead like that, you get missed by 5 metres, makes for a pretty ordinary afternoon. The
boundary umpire's gone down after that throw-in. For all their toil in this third quarter, it's a 1 goal, 1 each. Inside 50s on parity, 8-7. And it's 1 goal, 1 each. And that's no good as far as Fremantle are concerned. McPhee goes again for Bradley. Matner crashed the pack, took them all out of it. And Melcheski's able to come up cleanly and use Johnson and Kennedy. Having another wonderful day is Kennedy. The kick looked a bit wobbly. It was effective enough. Reed and then Jetta. And he brushes off a couple of flies, and Mzungu takes Jack down high. He's already slipping a bit there, Kieran Jack. So they've been a little lucky.
Just once again, no system Dockers going in. It was just a big bomb that was a 2 versus 5 or 6.
They've just got to find a different way, different path. Those odds are just far too great to overcome. Marty Matner's having a field day at the moment. Teddy Richards has the responsibility of trying to hit the O'Keefe target. This doesn't stick this time. Broughton and Crowley. And then Michael Johnson and Barlow. He shows a bit. He's being hunted down by Richards. Got a bit of a shove as he kicked it. Good aggression from De Boer to keep it alive, but the Swans first to it again. Melcheski heaving it back. Johnson short. Aggressive kick down the middle for Bird. And then they go out wide for Jack. Shaw on the overlap. It was a bit sloppy.
I think the player they've really missed today, Jason, is Ballantyne, because Ballantyne does get up the field, but what he can do is get back as well.
Into space. Yeah.
Into space. They haven't had a forward today that's been able to push up and then run back into space, and Ballantyne does that better than most players in the competition.
And that last time going forward, Barlow had the ball and he's kicking to 1 against 2, and you just don't know where to kick the ball.
They heard the call of the umpire. Again, they're outnumbered. Is it time just to go one-on-one all over the ground, or is it?
Well, you've probably got to keep your forwards in there, because I just think their forwards have been getting up the field but not using the ball well enough. They're not using their hands across half-back and through the midfield. And then when they are kicking it forward, the Swans defenders are just camped back there.
Surely, don't they think about making those Swans defenders accountable?
Well, I think you just got, the only way you can do that is keep the forwards back, and yeah, it's just got to be a change from the coaching staff to say, guys, you know, even though you want to support your defenders and you want to push up through the midfield, you want to get an extra number of stoppages, it must be, maybe it's time now to say, well, look, you got to stay back inside the forward 50.
Now, we're seeing tries like that from De Boer, which was really valiant effort against the numbers. He gets another chance again now. They work it out. Mzungu must nail this kick, and I reckon he has. He's made good contact, and Fremantle's second goal of the quarter comes at last.
I reckon John Longmire would be furious with that last couple of minutes of play. It started with a dropped mark at centre-half back from Marty Matner, and then it was just sloppy defending. He would be, I reckon he's on the blower sending a message out. What are these blokes doing? Ted Richards just ran over the ball. They've got 3 against 1 and still cough it up. And then there's just loose Dockers gradually working their way into the top of the 50 zone, queuing up for a shot at goal. Really poor defending. A goal that should never have happened.
Yeah, look, that certainly wasn't Teddy Richards' finest moment. His last 18 months of footy's been exceptional, but he'd like to take that moment back again and just really soften the body over there in the pocket and cost the Swans a goal.
So maybe a glimmer of hope for Fremantle. Fife extracting it and getting it in quickly. Richards made good. Anthony galloping off after it. Richards pretty confident because he saw that it was Jenner going for it for the Swans. He was happy to leave it to the quicker man.
Now, Dan Hannaby's taken the vest off, so it's actually Ryan O'Keefe has been subbed out of the game for the Swans.
Yeah, well, he has barely touched the footy. That's been the problem for Ryan O'Keefe. Just the 2 possessions and 1 goal.
And I'd suggest that's probably a pre-game move as well. Ryan O'Keefe's been out for about 6 or 7 weeks.
Here's another goal.
It is, and it should be Bradley to do it. So Fremantle at last are coming.
He's got some tricks, the boy.
He showed the Sheeran out there too, didn't he? He said, have a look at this. Was that Reece Shaw? Have a look at that, Shorey. He read the name on that. and he sold it around him. But as we see here, a bit unlucky there, Grundy. He tried to. He's probably in the. There it is. There, nice little. There you go, Reece. Have a look at this. Probably could have kicked the goal before he actually did the little ball. But yeah, Dockers, a couple in a row.
So there's life. Is there hope?
I'll tell you what, Bradley's been the catalyst, I think, Jace. He's been the one that's really stood up in this quarter and got the momentum back in the Dockers' favour.
So, can they keep coming? Sandilands combated pretty well by Seaby and the Swans. No, Sandilands might be able to stop them again with some help from Barlow. He's been the other along with Fife. They've just started to generate some footy, get it into their forwards. They like that. Anthony, De Boer, back to Anthony again. You can hear the call of the umpire. So she's on. Main knew the call and missed. There's a whistle here.
Interchange breach. Fremantle free kick for an interchange breach.
So it's going to be a goal.
That's a big moment.
All of a sudden.
This is a big moment.
Hey, Michael, another score because before he kicked the ball.
So no score from that behind that was kicked a minute ago because the interchange breach happened before he kicked that point. So they'll happily give that point back for a certain goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know whether we Pickers, you picked that up down there.
Absolute confusion in the Swans bench.
Well, the goal is kicked. And the margin is trimmed back to 22 points.
I'll tell you what, Hutto, I think you touched on Barlow before. We talked about, you touched on it midway through the second. He's the one, along with Bradley, what's he got up to now, Barlow? He's up to 9 possessions. He's just clean. He's a very good decision maker. He knows what he's doing. And he's been a really big factor for the Dockers in this quarter, particularly in the centre bounce and the stoppages.
Well, there's a distant chant there of Freo.
There is, and
somewhere.
Hutto, right now, if I'm John Longmire, I'm concerned. They've lost all momentum, and now it's only 22 points. It's up for grabs.
So, Bolton got crunched again out of the middle there. And we were just discussing it before. The three keys in this quarter really have been Bradley, Fife, and also Barlow. Suddenly Sydney go deep and forward, and Roberts-Thompson is mown down. Fremantle can't afford to make an error.
There's a great tackle there by McFarlane. Great tackle. Looked like a goal for all money for Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Did bounce sideways a little bit, but a great tackle.
A great closing speed, McFarlane.
Yeah.
Ibbotson eases it back into play. Sandland's got a nice little shove. I reckon the umpire saw it. Yeah, he did. He's paid the advantage, and Muzungu takes it.
And they've got numbers forward.
Yeah, they have. Johnson's there deep. He leaves it for Clark. Johnson got involved, slapped it, kept it alive for Main. McVale try and close him down. Clever, back to Pavlich. Bradley's waiting for it. Pavlich, Main, another one to Fremantle. They are storming. What a change in this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Hunter. I'll tell you what, that interchange infringement is massive, isn't it? But a long kick in there and just getting out of the defence.
And no coincidence, Rosie, all of a sudden as many, if not more, Dockers forwards than Sydney defenders.
Yeah.
They had their numbers forward, and that allowed them to keep the ball alive in the attacking 50.
Yeah, you're right, Jace. The last 5 minutes, it's been even numbers inside the Freo forward line. And we look down now, you can see here, we've got McVeigh now's coming back around for Sydney. So there's obviously some concern, but you've got one-on-one, all the way through the Dockers forward line now.
5 goals to 1 for the quarter after they took more than a quarter to actually score a goal. Fremantle have now kicked 5 consecutive goals. Provide some major headaches for the Swans, and they're going again. De Boer. Swans just need to hold them up in their tracks. They haven't been able to do that in the last few minutes. Bradley, here's Goods, can use Jetta, but he decides to go his own way. Hanbury's into the action now, but he's beaten for it by Bradley. Out the back to Pearce, next off the line. Now Fife. Low ball, Mazunga got the call from Barlow, who pokes it for Crowley.
They've got some run now, the Dockers. They're creating opportunities.
Pavlich is deep. So too is Clark. Clark comes and jumped over the top.
He doesn't mind a fly, Clark,
No.
does he?
Rowan stretches the handball to McGlynn. Been unsighted for a while. Back to the wing, Dawson to get in, and he didn't just spoil, he decided to mark. I thought he may have.
He just about tried to hand pass there.
It was either a 50 or play on, wasn't it?
I think it was. He loves a handball to Zach. He doesn't kick all that often. But this ends up being on the lap of Johnson. McVeigh saying I got a fingernail to it. But this could be another Fremantle goal.
That was half a shank the kick. No one knew who it was meant for. And Reece Shaw perhaps just didn't quite go back as hard as he could have. And in the end, I think he trapped it between his knees, Michael Johnson. Another one that's been thrown forward. So he certainly made some moves. He's changed things up a little bit, Ross Lyon, and it's starting to pay handsome dividends.
Well, Zach only has about 3 kicks a game. Usually has about 8 or 9 handballs. So maybe he shocked them, but it's been an effective kick in the end. So here's the shot from Michael Johnson. It's dead-eyed. Freo have got 6 in a row.
I'll tell you one thing though, Jace, they've been harder. That's the one thing they needed to address. Their tackling, just their cleanness around the football. We talked about Fife, we've talked about Barlow, we've talked about...
Does he go to play on?
Go here.
Oh, it's half a hand pass. He had the right hand back. Cox ready to give it.
It's either got to be a play on or 50, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now, but I think it was McVeigh.
It was McVeigh, not really sure.
I think he got caught by the mongrel punt and the wind.
So we're going to go back to the interchange breach. We're going to show it when we get the next opportunity. It's a little bit hard to read as to what they've done, but boy,
this is a match that, for all intents and purposes, was shot to bits, and now you're just about back Freo with all the momentum they've got.
I mentioned they were probably just 1 kick away from finishing the match off, and they couldn't quite do it, and we were looking for answers, weren't we, as to what Freo could do.
Well, Hutto, you look at the Freo forward line now. Here's the breach.
Here's the
interchange.
We believe this is it. We're just not sure.
No, that can't be it.
That's not it, surely. You don't flag them for that.
Well, that was apparently the one just before the umpire flag, so we'll go and have another look at it if we get a chance maybe at the break and try and work it out. McPhee pummels it to full forward. Bradley again in the mix. It falls to Hill. Everything's falling Freo's way for the moment, but not that kick.
I was just going to say before, you could see, you watch, there it is again, here we go.
And then straight after.
Yeah, well, that's straight afterwards, so...
If that's it, it's being incredibly pedantic, isn't it?
But what? Yeah, okay. I don't... Yeah.
That's just a mistake.
Do you think it's a mistake, Pickett?
Oh, I absolutely do.
So you think that it was fine what they did?
Looked okay to me.
Oh, you are the man down there, Liam. Parker kicks it out to the wing. And it's out of bounds.
Maybe a discussion point afterwards, Hutto.
Yep.
Neither of you two would have come off in your careers, would you? You wouldn't know what it was like to...
Nah, I didn't know where the bench was. Did you, Jace?
Tried to stay as far away from it.
Well, last year I did. I spent a bit of time on the pine then.
Bolton and Smith. So now we've got to talk about from Sydney's point of view, don't know what they need to do.
Yeah, well, they need to hold the game up now, try and get the ball and hit some targets. But I'm just trying to pick up the forward line of the Dockers now. If you look now, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forwards. Sydney is still trying to drop one back, but it'll be interesting to see if that Freo player comes back with McVeigh or Melcheski, who's loose behind play.
And there's Barlow again and Fife. Two of the playmakers, and Muzunga's been good, also linking up with McPhee. Great chase down.
Yeah, great chase.
Fantastic stuff in his 150th, Lewis Roberts-Thompson.
And that can be a momentum changer too,
yeah,
absolutely.
Little landmarks in games. That could be right up there.
Freo have got plenty of numbers back, though. A lot of numbers back for the Dockers.
Well, but Goods has been able to get a free run at it. Where's Sandilands?
Oh, that was appalling. Absolutely
Would Ross Lyon be going through the roof? They had them outnumbered about 7-3.
We watched that from up here, Jace. That was appalling by the Fremantle Dockers defenders. Inexcusable.
Do they need a settler here?
Yeah.
So Adam Goods, do they need this? The crowd know it. Everyone knows it. And Adam Goods is able to supply it. The margin is 17.
Well done, Lewis Roberts-Thompson.
Yep.
Great chase through the middle of the ground. They did need something. They need a momentum changer there, the Sydney Swans, and they got it. You watch it here. Great chase.
He read it early.
He did read it early. Well done. And then disgraceful defence from the Fremantle Dockers. I don't know whether we can see it here. Here we go.
Loose dog.
Nobody wants to go for the ball at all, and Adam Goods really walks in. That's almost an uncontested mark inside your forward 50. You can see here at the centre bounce, we've got now 7 Dockers forwards to 7 defenders. So there's no way known Ross Lyon will now leave a free Sydney Swans player in the Dockers forward 50.
They've out-contested them at the contest in this quarter by 13, Fremantle, 46-33. So that underlines what you were saying before. Pearce gets it deep to full forward. It got through somehow at the back, but Shaw's able to scoop it up and swing it away out for Seavey. Ian Sandilands trotting after it. A little bit of slow motion action, but it'll do the job as far as the Swans are concerned at the moment. Bird to half forward. Roberts-Thompson engages Dawson. Broughton slips it away again.
Oh, Lewis Roberts-Thompson is down and in trouble behind play.
Well, Fremantle are down one, down an extra as well. We'll get to Leon. I think Duffield, we're not sure whether he's going to play any further part in the game. So they could be down one for the last quarter, Fremantle. And we're not sure about Roberts-Thompson. He's getting up.
He's coming off.
But he is coming off, yeah.
Now, the flip side to having 7 forwards too, Hutto, is your other end has opened up.
Yep.
So, you know, but you have to take that risk of your Ross Lyon, and it's got them back in the game. But now you can see how open the Sydney Swans forward line is. If they get through here, there's a one-on-one Gary Rowan, Clancy Pearce.
And it's ended up going the way of Fremantle. Main, who's also been handy in this quarter.
Yep.
Johnson, a little bit of hesitation. Goods. Hanbury the sub, just taking a while to get the feel for it. Shaw back to Hanbury again. That'll help. And then to half forward. It'll be down to 6 seconds remaining in the quarter. The Fremantle defence happy then to let it go over and out. They have managed to kick 6 goals to 2 for the quarter. Here's the replay with Lewis.
He got a little elbow right on the jaw from Gary Rowan as he ran by, and that's just giving him the wobbles a little bit.
Just what you don't need. Well, what a quarter. A dramatic one where Sydney kicked the first goal. Fremantle kicked the next 6, and the Swans got one late. So Sydney's still ahead, but the margin dramatically reduced to just 17 points. In a word, will they go on with it, Roosie, do you reckon?
Well, if they keep that structure and they win the contested football, they're definitely a chance. Clearly, Swans are heavy favourites at the moment, though.
Yes, that was a nice word. 17 points, the margin at 3/4 time. Stay with us. Live footy at the SCG.